Audio Jungle.
Greetings and good morning everyone, especially to you, Doc Glo Hernandez. Today, we are here to properly present the content of our term paper entitled Technological Adaptations of Teachers Amidst Pandemic. But before we start presenting, let us introduce ourselves first. So, I am Nicole Reyes and I am one of the members of the Group 12. And here are the other members of Group 12. So, first is Miss Elcie Aldeza.
Dangal greetings everyone, and to you Doc Glo Hernandez. I'm Elcie Aldeza, one of the presenters and one of the member of this group.
Second is Miss Delvie Asanza.
Dangal greetings everyone, and to you Doc Glo Hernandez. I am Delvie Asanza, one of the presenters and members of this group.
And last is Miss Crishel Aeye Manarin.
Dangal greetings to everyone and to you, Doc Glo Hernandez. I am Crishel Aeye Manarin, one of the reporters and members of this group.
Now that we have introduced ourselves, let us proceed to the main discussion of our presentation. So, upon the introduction earlier, I have already introduced the title of our term paper. And now, what I'm about to discuss is the background of our study. So, what we intend to achieve regarding this paper and what this paper contributes. But before that, going back to our title, so the title is Technological Adaptations of Teachers Amidst Pandemic. So it talks about the pedagogy of teachers with the use of technology during this time of pandemic or during this predicament. And we all know that education is a fundamental right of all people. It is free and cannot be taken away from them. So a powerful tool that may help individuals in becoming more educated, developing various aspects of their life, and transforming their lives. However, due to some unforeseen circumstances, so there have been some unforeseen circumstances, and because of this unforeseen circumstances, education and learning becomes more challenging. And one of this is the current crisis that we are facing right now, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. So as a result of the pandemic, lockdowns were implemented, schools and other establishments were temporarily closed, and social distancing policy was established, which disrupted the traditional method of teaching and learning. Because we all know that there is a face-to-face interaction between the teachers and students during the traditional method. So, the temporary closure of academic institutions has paved the way for educational institutions to swiftly modify the methods of teaching and learning that is being delivered, as well as realign the curriculum to appropriately meet the new norm. Now we are transitioning from the traditional method or traditional learning to the new normal system or new online learning. So, educational institutions' immediate response leads to the adoption of online distance learning. So, institutions made efforts to capacitate instructors to cope with and fulfill the technical requirements of online learning. Since technology has become an influential tool in modifying teaching and learning, thus, using technology in academic processes becomes the new normal. So from the traditional method to the online learning method, our paper intends to study the pedagogical adaptations of teachers with the use of technology in the midst of pandemics. As the changing role of educators and technology is inevitable, the conception of teaching and learning transforms simultaneously. So transformation in teaching and learning methods to conform with new normal education are pivotal to attain quality education despite distance learning. That's all for the background of our study. So now let's proceed to the statement of the problem that we'll be going to discuss by my other members, which is Miss Elcie May Aldeza.
Now, let's proceed to the statement of the problem. This section discusses about these studies aim which is to determine the pedagogical adaptations of teachers in using technology as a medium amidst pandemic. Specifically, it aimed to answer the following. How does the pandemic affect the roles of teachers? Do teachers have the availability of access to technologies? What impact does technological advancement have on this changing role? And how does technology help teachers amend the teaching and learning progress? Let's go on to the first one. How does the pandemic affect the roles of teachers? The role of the teacher as a professional has changed since the pandemic's outbreak. More profoundly changed and became more sophisticated. To satisfy the requirements of the role of teachers has been updated and enhanced at a record-breaking rate in contemporary society. Teachers had more significant role in evaluating how effectively students were learning. And that's all for the statement of the problem number 1. Now, let's move on to the next one. Do teachers have the availability of access to technologies? Technology may be a helpful tool in the classroom to enhance learning and motivate students. But in order to get the most out of it, teachers must utilize it wisely. When the pandemic drastically shifted education delivery from a traditional to an online one, technology took a new turn. Mobile devices are used by other teachers to deliver the right education for pupils when they cannot afford to purchase their own laptop or computer. DepEd, however, understands how important it is to have the right tools for the job at hand and is working to provide public school teachers with computers and other tools as soon as feasible for teachers to do their duties in the online style of instruction, simple and easily.
As Ms. Aldeza talked through the first two statements of the problem, allow me to continue and briefly explain the remaining two. What impact does technological advancement have on this changing role? During the pandemic, the impact of technology in education is challenging for both teachers and students. Teachers had to put rules and recommendations into practice to balance the teaching and providing feedback to students remotely. Technology is one of the guiding principles for ensuring a core of competent teachers. Technological intervention should improve teacher-student engagement by improving access to content, data, and networks. This in-service teacher training program moved from in-person to remote training during the pandemic. Faced with the pandemic, countries have combined high-tech and low-tech approaches to assess teachers in supporting student learning more effectively. Technology has also improved government teacher support by allowing an existing coaching programs to be delivered remotely. And that's all for the statement of the problem number 3. And now let's move on for the last number. How does technology help teachers amend the teaching learning progress? Technology has the potential to improve learning quality and productivity to make it more effective than traditional approaches, and it is simple to use and learn. Although teachers may find it challenging to use technology to deliver classes and instruction, their collective responsibility is still to commit efficiency to allow students to cultivate new information and critical thinking. To attain academic achievement and engagement in the new normal, a student must improve their technological adaptation while maintaining enthusiasm and involvement in learning. And that's all for the statement of number 4. Now, let's move on for the conclusion.
And now we have come to the end of our presentation, but before we officially bid our goodbyes, I am here to present the conclusion of our paper. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the teacher's role has undergone a significant transformation in the past years. classroom instruction came to an end, and remote learning was thrust to the forefront of every school, college, and educational institutions' approach to learning, and teachers were compelled to rethink their delivery strategies in order to accommodate this new digital reality. Despite rising to the challenge, and many educators find it challenging, particularly in a setting that calls for more and more digital abilities. And the teachers found themselves juggling a heavier workload, helping students with technical difficulties, and providing first-rate instruction. Unsurprisingly, this resulted in fatigue, tension, anxiety for many people, especially the educators. But we have the chance to use technology to change education as we move toward well-established hybrid learning models. The teaching community must be involved, confident, skilled, and encouraged in order for this to be successful. Today's educational system heavily relies on technology. Educators make sure that they have access to it to establish a stimulating environment that encourages efficient teaching and learning. Because they can readily communicate with their students and exchange knowledge through digital media, many programs that assist internet learning have made instructors' work more accessible and superior to others. Government also allocate enough financial resources to ensure that new technologies are incorporated into instruction in order to produce tech expertise, so that teachers have enough access to technologies that they can use to deliver instructions to students. In the pandemic, technology has significantly influenced all of us. Some students and teachers encountered challenges in using technology in online learning. Despite teachers giving their best effort to continue students' learning, they face several challenges in adopting digital platforms for teaching. Although most teachers are proficient in using technology and can teach online, they must incorporate ICT effectively into their teaching methods. Students' learning modalities were modified to online learning, and this method of delivery must be sustained. As educational institutions consider how online teaching and delivery methods might be effectively fulfilled, finding innovative and appropriate technology that matches the learning needs of students presents a positive outcome to effective online learning. Technology contributes so much to one's own need. And integrating technology as part of teachers' pedagogy amends in making the teaching and learning process more interactive, empowering, and enables the students to practice their 21st century skills in accommodating technology in their education.
And these are the references that we have used in order to complete this study. Once again, thank you for listening.